but genuinely, like I think you've said maybe last year you came into pre-season almost a little too hot. You've done so much work in the off-season. What have you changed this time around?
Yeah, well, I'm feeling great. Body's really in a much better place than last year. So getting to do all the training and stuff and not missing too much, which is amazing for me, really developing my game. I was just smarter with sort of how I planned the off-season and, the running and all that sort of stuff. I didn't really work myself into the ground as much. Now I'm flying on the track, so I'm really happy with where I'm at.
Why do you think you did work yourself into the ground? Was it almost over-eagerness last time, or what did you learn about last year that you implemented this year?
Yeah, well, I think that was my first sort of off-season, so I didn't really know what to expect. Had like a decent year first year, but really wanted to build on that. I ended up hurting myself in the long run, but I've learned so much from that off-season, so I'm really grateful that I went through that, and now I know a lot more about my body and where I'm sort of at, so I wouldn't change anything.
What's Burjo's role been in that? Is that something you sort of picked his brain a lot about how to get the best out of your body?
Yeah, he's massive. He's massive on making yourself uncomfortable and stuff like that, so always leaning on him, get a coffee with him every now and then, and we talk about all that sort of stuff. And even on the running, like what I need to work on, and more that sort of sprint stuff than longer stuff, because I can sort of do that. So a lot of that sort of technical stuff we talk about a fair bit.
How'd you go on your trial?
Yeah, not too bad. Went alright. They're tough, the odd 4.1Ks, but I'm glad they're done now. Got 3 weeks off, and then we go again day one.
Was it an improvement? Did you make any gains? You look bigger. You look stronger.
Yeah, I'm a bit heavier, and my focus over the off season was more that sort of short repeat sprints over that longer running. So I was pretty close to my time last year, which was pretty good again. So I'm definitely happy with where I'm at. Yeah.
And practically, just could you share why would you target a repeat sprint focus rather than an endurance focus for you?
Yeah, I think naturally I'm pretty good endurance wise, but the repeat sprints have been something I've wanted to improve on for a while. Be more explosive and powerful, like that more key forward figure. So I've been working on that, and it's coming along all right.
How does that help your game day?
How does it?
Yeah, what's the focus? Just if you could explain what the focus is for the repeat sprint, how will it help you on a match day?
Well, ideally get more of the ball and kick more goals, but I think more powerful leads and really, powerful with my defender pushing off and ticking up at the ball. Like you see Fogg and Tex do it so well. So just really working with them and learning their sort of craft and getting that physical aspect right.
How much weight have you put on?
About 3 kilos, I think. Yeah. So pretty happy with where I've gone. Gym was big over the off season, so yeah.
How do you reflect on your year just gone?
Yeah, it was very up and down. I learnt a lot from it, which. Yeah, as I said before, I wouldn't change anything because I learned a lot about the year. Obviously, would have loved to have played more AFL and played the full year AFL and done a bit better. But I definitely got a lot of learnings out of it, and I'm excited for the upcoming year.
And the off-field stuff I think I spoke to you during the year about some of the confidence building work. Are you continuing that, and how's that been for you?
Yeah, still going with that. I've found that really helpful, and even coming into the track this year, I feel like we're in a much better headspace, physically, mentally, to attract training, and just can't wait for games to come around again.
So what does it actually do for you in terms of when you come into a training? What is it doing for you at the moment?
Well, I think it's just being more confident, chest out, walking on my toes a bit more, trying to be a bit more of the man. Backing myself in, flying at footies, backing my skills in, all that sort of stuff, which really hopefully helps me shine throughout next year.
Is it tough for a young bloke to come in and try and be, as you put it, the man?
Well, it's not so much the man, but I want to impact. I want to help my team. I want to help win games. That's why we play. We want to win footy. We want to win footy games and win premierships. So I definitely want to help contribute more to that. And I think being more confident will definitely help me do that.
Is there someone like a Tex who's never had a problem sort of puffing his chest out? Can you not only just lean on someone like that from a football perspective, but also a confidence and how you behave and act on a football field? Yeah,
definitely. He's massive. You just look towards him and he's so confident in not only his footy ability, but himself, his personality. So I definitely lean on him a lot for that sort of stuff and look towards him, and he teaches me a lot. Yeah.
What do you reckon? Those time trials we were talking about before, you just being down here watching, looks like you're right up there with Chase, who's probably the best at the club. How do you sort of fit in the pecking order overall? I know it's not about comparing to other players, but...
Yeah, well, he got me this year. I got him last year and he got me this year, so bit flat about that, but you know, I didn't finish too low down the order, so I'll take it. Yeah.
Are you right up there though? Like overall in the club?
Yeah. Well, I think I was second this year, so I'll take that.
That is up there.
That's
up there,
almost
yeah.
as high as you get.
Top two.
Hey,
Really dragged it out of me.
What do you reckon opposition teams think of a forward line now with you, Fogg, Tex, Rankin, Rochelle? What do you reckon, McAdam? What do you think your forward six now does when you play other teams?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I think from the footy club, like we're all pumped to have everyone back. Obviously, Ranks is going to be a huge addition. I'm really excited for working with those boys, and hopefully we can scare a few teams out there.
Has he done anything on the track so far that sort of made you go, boy?
Daily. Whenever he steps foot on the track, he's doing some crazy stuff. So I'm trying to keep up with him and trying to match his ability. But he's unbelievably talented. And what surprised me is his work ethic. Like he's running really well and he's flying. So I'm really excited to see him out this year.
When you say things wow you, we saw Joshy come on and he does a couple of fancy tricks with his footwork and then kicks goals. What does Isaac do that does make you stop and take notice?
Well, he's got all that. He's got a big bag of tricks. He's lightning fast. But I think even the defensive stuff has been what's really stood out to a lot of us, like a couple of rundown tackles and the pressure he's putting on the forward line. I think it's going to make our forward line a lot more dynamic and hopefully we can lock the ball in a bit more and kick some more goals.
Do you a permanent forward this year, or do you want to play a bit more ruck, or how do you think that's going to go?
I think it'll be pretty similar again. I want to get a bit more high up the ground, get a bit more of the footy would be nice. But yeah, probably that key forward, second ruck sort of thing.
Just out of interest, being the club's highest ever pick and number 2 overall, how did that sit with you when you first came into the club and competition originally compared to perhaps how you now look at it?
I didn't really think about it as much. I didn't really put any pressure on myself, and the club's been amazing. They didn't put any pressure on me. It's always been about developing me and getting the most out of myself. I'm reflecting on it. It's like still obviously massive, and I'm still greatly appreciated that the club took me that high, and I'm hoping that I can pay them off in the next few years coming up.
I just wondered whether that was part of the I want to be the man kind of attitude that you were taking in, whether it was anything to do with that tag.
Well, I guess as an athlete, you always want to be the man, and you want to compete against everybody. It's definitely. I wouldn't say it's had much of an impact over me. I try not to think about it too much because once you sort of get to the club, you're back on level 1, and everyone's the same sort of level. So it hasn't really had too much of an effect, to be honest.
Did you feel that pressure more maybe this year? Like everything went so well, year 1, 5 goals on debut and sort of flying, being dropped out of the team or battling with injuries. Does that being picked 2, being the tough player you are, does that then start to grow on you when you're not in the team? Or?
No, I wouldn't say the pressure of pick 2. I think, like I said, once I got to the club, I was sort of everyone's on the same level. That's sort of the pick sort of gets thrown out the window. There's definitely a lot of pressure on from myself to try and perform, which I think releasing a bit of that, later in the year, I sort of released a bit of that pressure and I started performing like the way I'd want to perform and sort of finish the year how I want to take into this year coming. So I definitely, took a load off some of that pressure, which has helped me play better footy, I think.
Well, this could be Taylor's last year. How important is it for your forward group then to, like you say, step up and be the man for not only next year but the next sort of 5, 6, 10 years, mate, without Taylor at the helm?
Yeah, well, I think Fogg obviously took a massive step last year. I think a lot of our forwards, even Ned McHenry's come a long way in leadership. That's one of the biggest things Tex sort of drives us is that leadership. He's that big presence up forward, and I think we're doing well taking over sort of that mantle, and he's doing less and less, I'd say, leadership stuff and talking in meetings and stuff like that. Like we're all trying to contribute and sort of fill his role now, so he can just perform as well.
What's planned for the next couple of weeks, mate? What's Santa got for you?
Not a whole lot. I'm going to just spend time with family. Just got a house, so hopefully Santa's got some housewarming stuff for me. But not a whole lot. Pretty cruisy. Yeah.
Just going back, do you look back on getting dropped after round 1 as being the best thing for you now in hindsight?
Yeah, it was massive. At the time, it was obviously really difficult. But looking back on it, I learned so much about not only myself, my body, my footy, all that sort of stuff. I don't think I'd be here, the way I am today without that sort of stuff. So, I'm very thankful that I'd learnt all that stuff.
What did you learn?
A lot about body management. Like I had a bit of, learning about my body, managing my like little niggles and stuff, and Just I don't know, just taking the coach's feedback really on board and really putting that to work, and really like nailing down a couple of specific areas, if that makes sense, which helped narrow my focus onto what I really needed to work on to contribute for the team.
After a lot of years, like 16, 17, and then coming into the AFL system, you had a lot of little niggles and a lot of like long-term management type injuries. Put them all behind you.
Well, definitely, I've taken a massive step this off-season, and I think it was more about learning my body and how hard to push, and when things aren't quite right, not to push them too far and that sort of stuff, like little niggles. So I think I've learned a lot about that, so not to push them too far where they keep me out of games or training, where I can just manage them and fully train.
How's the knee? Was it a patella or some sort of?
Yeah,
still a little bit
tendon, just managing that. It's feeling really good at the moment, and I haven't missed a training yet, so pretty happy.
Is that just an ongoing awareness, not awareness management sort of thing, or is it you don't even feel it at all now?
I feel it a little bit every now and then, but I've spent a lot of time in the gym loading it and getting nice and strong, so flying on the track, which is good.